Hello darlings, how are you? Welcome to your September 2018 general reading with me, Eriu. I'm so happy to see you here with me today. This video is for all the air signs. I won't be doing separate ones, I'll be doing all of the elements together. So there'll be 4 videos that you can watch from, depending what your moon and rising sign is as well. You can watch those in addition. So I'm doing this for all my lovely air signs, that is Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. So I hope you're all really well. To my new subscribers, hello, you're very welcome here. Hello Gemini. It's not a coincidence that you're here with me today, not at all. I'm glad to have you here. To my old subscribers, I hope you've been really well. Oh, we don't want that card. I hope you've been really well and you've had a lovely summer, and I just really appreciate this beautiful autumn time that we're coming into. I just love it. I love everything about it. I hope you do too. And also we're really close to coming up to Libra season, which means, including myself, all the Libra babies get to have a nice birthday celebration. So I hope you have a lovely one, but we'll get to that nearer to the time. Darlings, I have to be really honest with you. I haven't felt good in the run-up to this reading. I haven't. I feel very somber. I feel very sad, and the energy that's coming up for me, I felt this more with Libras, but I can feel it with Gemini and Aquarius as well. Something's going on, darlings, that's either really upsetting you and it's at the forefront of your mind, or something that you've pushed to the side because you need to compartmentalize what's going on in your life at the moment. So I really hope that this reading can help you clarify whatever it is, or it could just be me, but I feel like it's everyone else, it's not my energy. So I want to kind of help and guide you with that today, okay? We're going to do a 9-card spread today, so this is why as well I wanted to do the elements all together, because then I give you a little bit more time and you have a little bit more time to listen. So well, let's see what's going to come out. I honestly don't know, I have no idea. No clue. And I'm just going to do it randomly, like this. No, it's this one. So I'm going to do 3 at a time. Past, present and future for September, okay? I'm going to put the cards aside, and I need to clarify, I will, and you can see that lovely. Oh, excuse me. Also, if you're a new subscriber, I do swear the odd time, but to be quite honest, it's not a lot. And also how somber I feel about this particular reading, it's not going to come out, I think, as much. Let's get to it, guys. I think it's important we look at this. You have the Ace of Rods, 5 of Swords and Page of Cups in your recent past. This felt somber in this, I knew something. So in your recent past, my lovely air signs, my beautiful fellow sister and brother signs, you had a new experience in love. And this is, I was contemplating putting this down as a love reading, but I didn't want to, just in case the card said, nope, this is what it is. This is something different. And they often do that to me, but I've allowed it to come out as it is, and this is what it is. So there is something somber about a previous love investment is what I'm hearing, and encounter, but more importantly an investment. So in the recent past, you had an opportunity to, I keep hearing, become one with someone, which is actually quite deep and quite spiritual. But also remember, the Ace of Rods, especially rods, or as we call them in other decks, wands, is about spirituality in many ways. But it's almost about achieving spirituality through sexuality as well at times, okay? So that sounds a bit, I feel like you know what I'm talking about when I say that. That the intimacy and level of sexuality between 2 people can heighten another person's openness and awareness to their own spirituality, as opposed to spirituality in a more institutionalized settings like religion. We're not talking about religion here. We're talking about the individual and their own spiritual movement, I guess you could say. And you've had the opportunity, and you did have a wonderful opportunity in the recent past. This person is not here. I just want to state that first and foremost. Even though this is the recent past for you, they're not here, which means either you're not talking to them. I just heard, I don't want to talk to them, but it's not aggressive. It's more of a case of that there's a lot of sadness attached to this particular situation. So let's my intuition's kind of pulling me both ways. So I'm going to stick with the cards and move across. It's about, as I said, you having a beautiful new beginning in love in many ways. And love that may have kind of cracked open your shell a little bit and opened you up to a new level of your spiritual awareness and spiritual understanding. And I think this is something quite beautiful. And I think this is something that blossomed without a lot of effort, without a lot of trying, without you seeking. And the opportunity and the potential for this to grow and to become something, you could see that, and I feel the other person could see that as well. I see that you thought it a bit more and quicker than the other person did. I can see you just kind of slightly emotionally running away with yourself, which is lovely, which is what air signs can do sometimes. People don't think we do. Because we're air signs, people think we're constantly in our heads, and that's not the case. It's just we process a lot of things through our minds first and foremost, and that includes emotions. But there's something that unlocks something. There is something about this that unlocked a part of yourself that you didn't know you had. The unexpected what? I keep hearing the unexpected movement of emotion. So it's pretty much what I just said, but I heard that a bit more clearly now. So you see what I'm saying? That this was actually quite beautiful. And normally the Ace of Rods is a very strong sexual card. And I don't feel that with this. I don't. This was really beautiful. Whoever you were involved with here, you had a wonderful sense of togetherness with this person, and like a yin-yang almost to each other. And at times, you know, as it always is with the yin-yang experience that we have with people, it's kind of like, why do I like them? I don't quite know. They don't really fit the person I go for normally, but there's something pulling me towards them, and I wonder. We'll do a quick clarify, shall we? Even though I don't want to, because there's something quite pure and lovely about this, but I'm going to do this anyway, because I keep just thinking of the Six of Cups, and I keep thinking of a soulmate connection that never had an opportunity to grow previously, if you've known each other already, or you felt like you knew each other already. Okay, this one. Oh, Gemini, the Lovers. There is a connection, or there was a connection, but I'm going to say is, because it feels like, even though this feels slightly lost to me right now, and I feel like some of you also feel quite lost in this, the ties haven't been fully cut. And I'll be honest with you in saying, I don't know if they can just yet. There's something, there's an attraction between you and this particular person. I remember we talk in male and female energy all the time on this channel, so your gender doesn't mean anything in many ways. The genders in the cards that depict the energies don't mean anything in many ways. This is about two people mirroring each other and see, like, I feel a very deep connection with the eyes. And even though the eyes may be different colors, or like you have green eyes, they have grey eyes, this is like there's a mirroring of souls here. And I keep hearing like a finding of one another. Like, you know, you weren't exactly going out looking for it, but it just kind of happened, and that was nice. But then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this is something. And it feels very precious to me. And I'm not surprised that you felt like this. And this could be particularly for Geminis out there, because I pulled the Gemini card, the Lovers. But this is for all you lovely air signs, and it could have been with a fire sign. And I say that because we have the rods here, which is fire, and the rods in the back, which is fire. So a lot of passion, a lot of attraction, but not of a really detrimental sense. There is a purity within this, and just a fire that burns between you and this person. And I don't want to pull any more cards, because I just find it too beautiful to try and strip. Like, I feel like if I go into more with this, I'm going to keep peeling down the layers here, and I don't want to do that. I want to leave it beautiful as it is, so I'm going to do that. But there was something that separated the two of you, and it may have been something, it may have been an argument, something that may have been said, or there was a third party involved. That could have been a possibility, and I say that because we have two people in this particular deck, two people walking away. Normally the two people are separate, so it's like two different arguments, but there is a high level of regret here. I don't know if it's a case Libra, Gemini and Aquarius, my lovely air signs, that you may have felt you've had to defend yourself in a certain way, and you may have swung your sword a bit too rapidly, but I feel like there was something that was threatening to you within this scenario, and I don't know, it may have been the other person's actions that left a high level of insecurity in you, and you felt you needed to protect yourself, because I'm also seeing the Two of Swords down here, which have been thrown down from these two people here. But it also reflects for me and mirrors quite a lot the Two of Swords, which is about having to make a decision, but opening your eyes and saying, just get your head out of the sand and make the decision. So whatever contributed to this for you, this wasn't just something that you did like emotionally, spur of the moment, boom, I've said it, I'm done, and then you regret it after. This is something that I feel you didn't necessarily want to get yourself involved with how this was going in a negative sense. But you felt like you had to defend yourself. And I think I'm feeling as well that there is for you, and it may be just for some of you, that you wanted to maybe test the boundaries or the strength of this person and to see whether or not their heart really lay. Not lay, but if their heart was really properly invested with you. So there's a confrontation here that was had, and two people having to put down the swords, but someone feeling quite heartbroken because of it. Because what I see here then is the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is such a lovely page, and aren't pages just lovely in general? Page of Cups here, but I always get this lovely sadness, if you want. Here, like it's almost like a Greek tragedy in some ways, maybe not as severe, but this is all somber. Like this could, I keep hearing, this could have been something, but it didn't. And you felt this person walked away far too easily, far too quickly. Far too quickly. And you thought, and you've been thinking to yourself, air sign, well, if they can handle this, you know, at these early stages, because this is early, by the way, this is early. This isn't a long-term love, but I guess if you are single and you're watching this and this resonates, or if you're coupled and this also resonates, there is a youth, I guess, a youthful spirit that's also attached to your union with this person, or it was, it didn't have time to fully blossom, as I keep saying. But they didn't. You were hoping they had a bit more gusto than they did. You were hoping that they would just come back and be like, you know what, I don't care, I'm going to pick up this sword and I'm going to protect myself, but I'm going to be here with you and you can't get rid of me that easily. There was a test of, what's the word I'm looking for? Test of inner strength. Could they do it? And I'm not saying you were gunning for that by any means. At the back of your mind you thought, can they do this? Will they do this? In essence, will they fight for me? And they didn't. Now, I said this could be a third party, and I don't want to insinuate that and put that idea into your head if it's not, because that wouldn't be right. But what I'm seeing and feeling more so is that this person is easily led astray. And I don't mean even romantically or sexually, just like they kind of seem to be easily led. And you were hoping that they'd have a bit more gusto and be like, no, I won't. And they didn't. And that's what's bringing you to this Page of Cups energy here, which is really quite somber. You've taken back your cup here, sign. You've taken it back. I can see it, and it was hard, but you did it. But you did it because you didn't want to compromise your emotional sanity. Oh yeah, I'll just keep giving you my cup while you just like keep floating away. And it's not. It's not that it wasn't strong enough or couldn't be strong enough. It's just that they don't, understand your level of needing a strong foundation. And this gets misconstrued all the time with the earth signs. That the earth signs need this level of security. And really we could argue that all the signs need this level of security. Let's go broader. All humans need that level of security to feel that there is a foundation there, yeah? Something to bounce off, something to work off, the blueprint of the relationship. But you're like, oh, I brought the blueprint, I bought the table to even look at this on, and you're out the door. Oh. And that says more about you than just me. And that's what it feels like, that you're like, you know, you had to take back your cup and you didn't really want to. Little fishy's like, what happened? I thought I was with this person. Not anymore, fishy. I'm actually really happy that this ends on this card for your recent past, and I'll tell you why. It's like you're reclaiming your love back, and you understand now that maybe sometimes air signs, as much in our heads as we are, when we meet people that allow us to feel, like really feel in a very raw, organic way, we lose ourselves. We really lose ourselves. Like we lose like morals, like what? Oh, you're like, you just let it, you just roll with it, because it's quite a beautiful thing and something that you don't do all the time. And it can hurt you though, but what you've done here is you've created a boundary, and albeit you may have regrets about it and you're looking back and you're really wondering why a lot of the time. But I want you to know that I'm really happy and proud that you did this. That you took back your cup, because honestly, I don't know if I would trust this either. And I'm not saying that this is a person that has ill intent or... Ooh, one of my cards just flipped. Right, some of you are definitely dealing with a fire sign. That I was just shuffling there as I was talking, and it just immediately flipped over and got sucked in the deck. So some of you feel that there is an Aries, Leo or Sagittarius that just didn't fully show their face, didn't fully show who they were, and then skedaddled. Oh. Another page though. You know? You're looking at two people that are finding their way in love. This is all very youthful. This is all very young. This particular love. And it's not like they hide stuff. They just don't want to show their full self. For whatever reason. Let's look at how you are for this September. Going into the middle of September. I'm going to put those to the side. Or actually, I'll just lay them on top. I'll just lay them. I'm going to put him underneath there. Actually, no, don't put him on there. Because this is your reading. It's not about them. Even though it kind of is. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you've really reclaimed yourself, air sign. That's good. I know you feel sad. I feel it. As I knew that. I felt that at the start of this. But I'm really happy you set your boundary though. Because people can't just walk in and out of your life whenever they feel like it. You know, it's not okay. We do it a lot in this day and age, and it's not okay. You have to invest and be present. Now, let's look at you now for the middle of September. Let's do it randomly again. Random. There we go. Let's see how this all shapes up together. Oh. Right, some of you are, the truth shall set you free, air sign. Oh my. Where you're mentally, you've been quite cloudy lately, air sign. You've been quite cloudy. You felt muddy, or, you know, I call it muddy head or like muzzy head, where you just kind of feel like you're not taking everything in. There are some days where you're like, oh, what did that person say? Or when you're reading a line of a book, or you're reading something on screen and you literally have to read it about 3 times because you're like, I didn't take that in. What was that? Wait, what? And someone's telling you a story and you're like, sorry, what? Say that again? Muzzy head. Because I feel like this has actually been taken over a lot of your thought recently, air sign, and it's kind of been at the forefront of your mind, if I'm very honest. But I'm seeing this interesting pattern here going on. For some of you coming into September, some of you really actually need to know, when I said this wasn't really finished or the ties weren't cut, it's because you haven't had that heart-to-heart conversation that you need to have. And I think some of you have felt that that was coming, and you're quite right, it is coming. Especially with the Ace of Swords in the middle, like when I say the truth shall set you free, it's coming. And I don't really, it could be circumstantial that happens, that you're in the same place at the same time. Or it's just because you've got two aces here, and as well air and fire, person could be fire. But let's just see this, let's just talk about this. This was definitely a union of two people who were just fucking crazy about each other, and maybe they didn't say it to each other. I'm going to be very honest. Remember I said I swear, so that's probably the most you'll get out of me tonight. But there was a union here, and when I said you mirrored each other, because look at this. The Lovers, Ace of Rods or Wands, Two of Cups. Like, this is pure love. This isn't your normal sort of encounter with someone here. You both know this though. And it's, I don't know, I just find it quite sad because, and actually a little bit frustrating, because I see something that has, it could be a beautiful unity, but it's just, it ain't happening. Anyway, it's about time that both of you will really talk about what happened. And it could be this, talk about what happened. There's something along the way that severed this. And neither of you have really looked at this, and you need to. And I don't think there's any like ill intent, negativity, bad-mindedness attached to either of you. But I think if you really want to almost even move on from the pain which you're carrying here, because I see it, it's there, I felt it. If you want to move away from that, then you're going to need to have this heart-to-heart conversation with each other, even though it might be hard. The truth, I keep saying, the truth to set you free, and that's as well why the Ace of Swords in the middle here is a new beginning for you. Let's cut all of it away. It's not, I think this is of benefit for the two of you, because I think you can both grow from this particular conversation. There's something about you not seeing eye to eye on something, or that the two of you have two different perspectives, which you will, on what happened. But the two of you aren't aware of the other person's perspective. And there's growth for you as individuals, and almost as the love between you, to grow if you have this conversation and let go of what has happened. It's really important that you let go of what has happened, but it can only come from this. I'm not saying you have to let go of them completely, but to be honest, there's something about them that I still feel a thread. There's something about it. Be aware that in September, when this happens, because it will. Because it will. And I don't like to put my money on that stuff, but I can feel it. It is going to happen. That you may feel quite sore again about it. So you're going to feel like you did the last time it happened, or the last time you saw that person. You're going to feel that way again. Be prepared. Be prepared for that. Know that that is a probability. No matter how over them you might think you're feeling, if they stand in front of you, especially with this particular connection, I'm not surprised that you might feel a bit wounded still, or just might kind of cut away at the scar you were healing, or the wound you were healing, I should say. And there's something about this is very freeing for you, air sign. Very freeing for you, but you may find yourself going into yourself, and I'm not surprised. You're like, you may feel yourself pulling back from people, pulling back from friends. You're like, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to be out a lot. I'm almost feeling like a hermit mode energy, where you just kind of keep yourself to yourself and keep your counsel. There may be people that want to know about this, and what I'd say to you is you don't have to tell them everything. You really don't. It's your business. But what I will say, when this opportunity comes up for you to speak, which it will, do speak your truth. You know, we've already had the swords here of why this separated, so we don't need the swords again. As in, we don't need to swing the sword. We do need to have two people in an environment where they're listening to each other and are compassionate towards one another. Oh, The Emperor just fell out there. First fell straight on the floor. This is actually the opposite of what I want you to do, because this for me is saying this is all about control, directness, assertiveness. You can have that, but in a very non-aggressive manner. Sorry guys, I didn't check my memory on my card and it went full too quickly, so I'm not quite sure where we've ended on that. But what I was saying was that the Hermit card had come out, flown out, it just fell on the ground. And this is, as I was saying to myself more than likely, it's about two introverts. This is about going introverted into oneself. But know that that's okay. To find the light of, to find your light and to use your light in order to heal yourself. Let me just find out. Let's have a look at the rest. Okay, for air signs. I think as well you're just trying to save yourself from some heartache. You're like, oh, I can't do this again. This one, I think. Ah, yeah. Ah, okay. Okay, babies. Okay. So, as I said before, high probability you'll feel wounded again by this. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like this conversation, the remainder of this, will kind of stay with you for quite some time throughout September. And you probably don't want to hear that, but you know, I'd be a pretty crappy tarot reader if I didn't tell you the God honest truth. That's my motto, truth always. I literally live by this. Ace of Swords. I really do. You know, sometimes to my own detriment, but I just think to live a life of truth is like living the best and purest life you possibly can. And so you will feel a lightness after this particular conversation and this discussion with this person. But there will be a moment where you turn inwards. Because as I said, those wounds are still there. You're trying to keep yourself together, but it's okay to feel the sadness. I think that's okay. You could also be dealing with someone who's a water sign, but maybe Scorpio. Do I even want to say? At this stage, does sign even matter? It's about how you're feeling, isn't it? And your two major arcanas that you have in this are the Lovers and the Moon. And there's something quite hypnotic and mysterious about the Moon. I love the Moon personally. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But this is about you, when you go inwards, and you really will go inwards, to not let your mind deceive itself. When they said this, did they mean this? When I acted this way, why didn't I say that? You know, it's a lot of like ticking over in the old air sign brain there. I just want you to know that that may not be the best format to use in order to analyze this, because there's something about this that I don't think you can analyze, that I don't think there is. You won't be able to get all the answers as concrete as you wish. And I think when you understand that and let that go, that's where a lot of the release will come from. Because your Five of Cups comes here where you just get completely upset about this again. And you're like, why did this happen? God, it could be a third party. Actually, it's, no, this is what it is. You're thinking it's a third party. Three of Cups. Your cup, their cup, the other person's cup. And you don't realise you have two cups behind you. And this is a cup that you have. I want you to be aware of this. This is a cup that you have not only for yourself, but this second cup is for the next person who wants to be with you, who desires to be with you, and more importantly, demonstrates they want to be with you. It's no point having all the flowery, lovely language and even the connection if the person doesn't put in the effort to show they want to be with you. And so it's important for you. Look, you've even got two tulips here behind you, two cups here. It's not emotionally over. You're not, I kind of have to say to you, like, you're not emotionally defective. There's nothing wrong with you, air sign. There never was. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just stuck in this deception of the mind. Because when you take the Hermit card and the Moon card, oh, we're going deep, baby. We're going so deep that you can almost lose yourself in the abyss of the self. But carry this light. This light is important because the light shines brightly. And it just gives you a greater perspective of what's happening. So try not to lose yourself in that in September. Because there's growth for you here, and I like this. I like this, I'll tell you why. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and she's there to remind you of our softer side, of our more loving side, of our more caring side, of the side that we don't always show to others. She's an earth energy, she's Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn, and she's always reminds me of the Empress. Obviously she's not, she's slightly down the food chain, but not by far. And this is saying to you, look, remember who you are. And remember that, yes, we can get lost in these love encounters, and we can get lost in ourselves. We can never fully lose ourselves. It may feel like that because we feel out of control of the scenario, but you can't lose yourself. And your understanding now is you have a greater value to give than maybe this person was willing to take on. And it's not to say that there was anything wrong with you that made them go. No. They chose that. They chose to move away from you. But out of this, you start to really understand your self-worth a little bit more. And some of you out there may be saying, well, I already know it. And that's great if you do. But let's be fair in saying that when this stuff happens, our self-worth wobbles. We wobble. We feel insecure. We wonder what we did wrong. And I'm talking men and women, both of us. We all just kind of go, what? How can something that feels so good, because it felt so good, air sign, how could it feel so good and then it just crumble and come to this? Not for the lack of trying on your part, more of the lack of trying on their part. And if someone's not willing to to walk through the fire with you, especially this early on, then what does that say about them? If shit really ever hit the fan, if life ever got really hard, would they be by your side? Or would you be carrying them? Think about it this way. But know that your self-worth has grown from this, and you have the capacity to open up again, and you will open up yourself again when the right person comes along who shows you properly, not just this, but really shows you what you're worth. Like reflects it back to you, because you know it, but they'll reflect it back. This is about just being in a very grounded energy for the month of September, when all else fails. And you will sway so much, air sign, I can't even tell you. We've every single element on the table right now. You will sway so much. Be aware of that. This is good for you to know. You will be aware of that is how you are feeling. And when it happens, let it happen. Don't feel like you're going insane. Sometimes we do. Because you feel so emotionally turbulent. It's working its way through your system. Let it work its way through your system so that you can let it go and really focus on what you have to give to someone else who really wants this. I'm not saying they're gonna leave forever. I mean, stranger things have happened and people have come back around. People have gone, oh my God, I see your worth. Jesus, I see what this is. You can't make them. And whatever, this almost feels like a life lesson for them as well. So you weren't the only one that went away upset. Well, I hope this is your reading anyway for the month of September. God, I hope it helped you. I feel so much for this. I feel so much for you. If you'd like a private reading with me, you can certainly have one. I'm just dropping cards everywhere tonight. You can certainly have one. My email address is at the end of this video and below this video as well. do check in with me. I'd love to see how you're getting on. So please write your comments down below, because I like to see how you're all getting along. And actually just talk to one another, especially if you're going through this. This is quite sad. It's quite sore. I feel sore. Yes, and I will see you then in the month of October. Sorry, this feeling's just kind of lingering with me. Take care of yourselves. Don't be too hard on yourselves with regards to getting over this as well, okay? Just be kinder to yourself, and if you find that you're not as busy as you were before, that's okay. Like, do things to make yourself feel better. Baths, walks, whatever it is, talking to people, friends, going out for like coffee instead of drinks, you know what I mean? If you don't need that sort of electric energy in your environment, then that's cool, take care of that. My darlings, you have a beautiful September. I'm always here for you. Again, if you would like a private reading, just contact me directly, okay? See you soon, my darlings. Fellow air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, you take care of yourselves this month, okay? Bye-bye.